We are going to turn to politics now, where there is new polling from the Cook Political Report finding Kamala Harris leading or tied with Donald Trump in all but one battleground state, all within the margin of error. And there's been some notable movement on some key issues. Joining us now with more on that, publisher and editor-in-chief of the Cook Political Report, Amy Walter. So, Amy, what are the key issues you see movement on?
Yeah, Mika, what we saw just in the headline numbers, those top line numbers, not much change between August and September, really just barely on the margins. But on the issues of immigration and specifically the issue of inflation, Donald Trump's lead has either narrowed or, in the case of inflation, completely collapsed. So Trump had a 6-point lead on the issue of who do you think would do a better job controlling costs and inflation back in August. And today, the two candidates are even on that measure. And on immigration, it's still Trump's strongest issue, but it was an issue he had a double-digit lead on in August, and it's now down to a single-digit lead. The good news for Trump, though, is that for the people who are still undecided in this race or who say, you know, maybe I'm going to vote third party, they do see him by a pretty significant margin as being stronger on issues surrounding the economy. What is holding them back in many cases from voting for Donald Trump, and goes back to the conversation on your first panel, is Donald Trump's personal behavior. And so this is the pressure, the sort of cross pressure for these undecided voters about wanting to support Trump's policies, but not necessarily supporting Trump, the person.
So, Amy, wow. This race, of course, couldn't be much closer. Your polling certainly reflects that. I do want to zero in on one state that is now listed as tied, and that may come as a surprise to some, because North Carolina, in the last few weeks, some Democrats really felt like they had a chance to build a bit of a lead because of the scandal ensnarling the Republican gubernatorial candidate, Mark Robinson. And we know that Robinson's numbers have fallen in some polling, but at least here, it looks like he's not dragging down Trump at all.
That's a really good point, and that's right. And the Democratic candidate in that governor's race, part of the reason he's built such a big lead is that he's winning over about 20% of Trump voters. So there are plenty of voters in North Carolina now who are happy to split their ticket. They say, I'm sticking with Donald Trump, but I'm not voting for the Republican for governor. I'm going to vote for this Democrat. And I think that is something that in a state like North Carolina is going to be really important. But we are also seeing interesting this play out in other states, this interesting gap in a state like Arizona, where the Democratic candidate for the Senate, Ruben Gallego, building an even bigger lead over Kari Lake, Republican who ran for governor there in the last election, even as the race for president there incredibly close. So we may see more split ticket voting in this election than we're used to seeing, certainly used to seeing in the last couple of cycles.
Amy, wouldn't that mean both in Arizona and in North Carolina that the efforts of turnout, getting your solid base communities, districts to turn out at a higher level than expected could decide both states in terms of where the presidential vote goes? Because the operations on the ground, we don't see a lot from Trump in either state, and we do see some evidence of that with presidential candidate Harris. Wouldn't a ground operation have major impact?
Yeah, I think in a race that's this close, we're going to look back and point to probably 100 little things that made the difference between one candidate winning or losing. And it is true, if you go back to 2020, a lot of the frustration among Democrats that year was that they weren't able to do the on-the-ground organizing and the door-to-door campaigning because of COVID. And they're doing that now. The Trump campaign has outsourced a lot of their field operation to third parties, which means you don't have as much control over that. You don't know exactly what's happening and who they're targeting. The one thing we do know, though, at least from the last two elections, presidential elections, 2016 and 2020, is that Trump voters tend to turn out, whether they get their door knocked or not. And in many cases, it's not picked up in polling either. And so Trump's been successful in turning out his base, even if the campaign itself has not been as efficient as the Democrats have.